In the heart of the galaxy, at the Galactic University, a group of alien students sat in a large, dimly lit lecture hall. They were studying the history of galactic warfare, a subject that fascinated many young minds. But today's topic was different. It was about humans. These creatures from a small, distant planet had been banned from participating in galactic wars. No one knew exactly why, and that was what the students were tasked with finding out. The students had heard the rumors humans were wild, unpredictable, and strange. They didn't fight the same way other species did. While most races followed strict strategies and rules, humans seemed to throw all that out the window. The idea of fighting without rules puzzled the students, and they were eager to learn more. Their professor, an elderly alien with dark green skin and large glowing eyes, gave them access to ancient records. These records, filled with stories from past wars, contained detailed accounts of humanity's involvement in the early days of galactic conflict. It was time for the students to dig deep and uncover the truth. As they flipped through the old scrolls, they began to uncover strange stories about human soldiers. They learned that, in the past, humans had been known to fight alongside alien forces in the war against the Ilari, a ruthless species that had once threatened the galaxy. But what made humans different was their ability to think outside the box. While most alien soldiers followed well-established tactics and strategies, humans didn't. They had an extraordinary talent for improvisation. When the battle seemed lost, when every plan had failed, human soldiers would do the unthinkable. They would charge into the fray without a plan, using whatever they had at hand to create a weapon or a strategy that no one could predict. One of the students, Zira, a young alien from the planet Vorel, read a story that caught her attention. It told of a human soldier named Captain Jax, who, during a critical battle, had used nothing more than a few scraps of metal and a damaged ship engine to create a bomb that destroyed the Ilari's strongest weapon. The bomb was so simple, yet so effective, that it changed the course of the entire battle. It was a victory that no one saw coming. As Zira shared the story with her classmates, they all sat in stunned silence. How could such a simple tactic have caused such a big impact? The answer was clear. Humans didn't rely on advanced technology or precise plans like other species. They used their creativity, their ability to adapt quickly to any situation, and their sheer willpower to turn the tide of battle. The more the students read, the more they uncovered examples of human soldiers doing the unexpected. There were stories of humans using their environment to their advantage, turning the most ordinary places into deadly traps. In one battle, human soldiers had tricked the enemy into walking into a swamp. The Ilari, known for their advanced armor and weapons, were caught off guard. The swamp, which seemed harmless to other species, became the perfect trap for the Ilari's heavy machinery. Zira and her classmates began to understand the true power of humanity. It wasn't their technology or their strength in numbers that made them dangerous. It was their unpredictability. They didn't fight like everyone else. They didn't play by the same rules. And that, as it turned out, was exactly what the galaxy feared. One of the students, Rook, a tall alien with silver skin and multiple eyes, had a theory. He believed that the true reason humans were banned from galactic wars wasn't because of their ability to fight, but because of their uncontrollable nature. If humans were allowed to join in, they would disrupt the delicate balance of power that the galaxy's leaders had carefully built over thousands of years. If humans could change the outcome of a battle with a single unexpected move, imagine what they could do to the entire galaxy. The professor, who'd been silently watching the students' progress, finally spoke. What you've discovered is the reason humanity has been kept out of galactic wars. Their unpredictability is too dangerous. They are a force that cannot be controlled, and that is a power no one can tame. The students sat back in their seats, the weight of their discovery settling in. They had learned the reason why humans were banned, but now they wondered, was this power truly dangerous? Or was it something the galaxy needed? Zira couldn't help but think about it. She'd always believed that order and structure were the keys to peace. But as she learned more about humans, she began to see things differently. Perhaps the galaxy had become too rigid, too focused on following rules and plans. Maybe what it needed was a little chaos, a little unpredictability, a force that could break the cycle of endless wars. As the students continued their studies, they started to see humans in a new light. They were no longer just unpredictable creatures from a distant world. They were a species with a power that no one else had the ability to change everything. And while the galaxy's leaders may have feared this power, the students began to wonder if it was time for humanity to be allowed to join the war once again. The question that hung in the air was simple: could the galaxy afford to keep humanity out of the fight? Or was it time to embrace the power of the unknown? At the Galactic Academy, a group of alien students sat in a large lecture hall, surrounded by ancient records of wars that had shaped the galaxy. Their professor, a wise alien named Thar, had assigned them a special project to investigate why human strange creatures from a small blue planet had been banned from fighting in galactic wars. The students were curious, as they had always heard stories of humans and their strange ways of fighting. Today, they would learn the truth. Humans were known for their unpredictability, but there was something deeper that made them stand out. The students had read about human history and learned that, unlike most other species, humans fought with more than just their strength or technology. They fought with something that no other species had: their heart. The alien students had heard of the great battles, where humans stood on the front lines not only with weapons, but with a fierce determination that inspired everyone around them. What puzzled the students was that, despite their courage and passion, humans were never allowed to join the galactic wars. Other species, far more advanced and logical, were considered stronger, yet humanity had been excluded. Why? As the students began their research, they discovered the answer was hidden in the history of the great battles. They learned that humans had fought alongside alien armies in the past, but it wasn't their strength or advanced weapons that made them valuable. It was their ability to inspire. Humans had a natural talent for leading others, for making people believe in something greater than themselves. One of the students, Zira, a young alien from a peaceful planet called Zifa, was particularly moved by one story. It was about a human general named Sarah, who, during a major war, led a ragtag army of different species against a ruthless alien race known as the ZKRI. The ZKRI were known for their brutal tactics and advanced weaponry. No one believed the small, disorganized human-led army could stand a chance. But Sarah didn't think like that. She saw potential in every soldier, no matter their species or background. She spoke to her troops, not just giving orders, but telling them stories of their ancestors and reminding them of the values they shared. She gave them hope. She made them believe they could win, no matter how impossible it seemed. And they did. Against all odds, Sarah's army defeated the ZKRI, not because they had better weapons, but because they fought with heart. They fought for each other. They fought for a cause bigger than any of them. They fought because they believed they could win. When Zira read this story, she was amazed. She realized that humans had a unique power, a power that no other species seemed to have the power to rally people with their spirit and determination. It was a power that went beyond tactics, beyond technology. It was a power that could change the course of a battle, even when all seemed lost. The more the students learned, the more they discovered similar stories. In every battle, humans didn't just fight, they united others. They gave hope to those who had none, and their passion was contagious. They could bring enemies together to fight for a common cause, bridging gaps between species that had never before been crossed. It wasn't just their military skill that made them strong, it was their ability to inspire others and lead them with a vision of a better future. One of the students, Rook, a large alien with 3 arms and sharp claws, had always been skeptical of humans. He believed that strength and strategy were the only things that mattered in war. But as he read more about the human battles, he began to change his mind. He realized that while other species had perfected their strategies and technology, humans were different. They didn't need the best weapons or the most advanced ships they needed, only their willpower and heart. Rook couldn't understand it at first. How could such a simple thing, belief, be more powerful than technology or strategy? But as he studied more, he began to see the truth. It wasn't just about winning. It was about what you were fighting for. Humans fought for each other. They fought for a dream of peace, of a future where everyone could live freely. And this passion was what made them a force to be reckoned with. The professor, Thar, who had been quietly observing the students' progress, finally spoke. "What you've discovered is why humans are banned from galactic wars," he said. "Their heart is a power that cannot be controlled. When they fight, they don't just fight to win, they fight to inspire others, to bring change. This is a power that no species can predict or stop." The students were quiet for a moment, processing what they had learned. They had thought of humans as weak, unpredictable creatures, but now they saw them in a different light. Humans were not just soldiers, they were leaders. They had the ability to change the world with their spirit, to unite others with nothing but their words and actions. Zira, who had always believed that order and strategy were the keys to victory, began to question her beliefs. She realized that perhaps the galaxy needed something more than just advanced technology. Maybe it needed the heart of humanity, the passion, the courage, and the willingness to fight for something greater than themselves. As the students finished their research, they began to understand that humanity's place in the galaxy wasn't about military power. It was about the power to lead, to inspire, and to change the future. And maybe, just maybe, that was the greatest strength of all. At the Galactic Academy, a group of young alien students were assigned a unique task to discover why humans were banned from participating in galactic wars. For years, the galaxy's leaders had insisted that humans, strange, chaotic creatures from a small planet, were too dangerous to join the galactic conflicts. But no one had ever explained why. It was a mystery the students were eager to solve. The Academy was full of advanced species, each with their own strengths. The Varelians were skilled diplomats, the Zarathians were powerful warriors, and the Lyrakan were master tacticians. But humans were different. No one knew how to describe them, except that they didn't follow the rules. While other species prided themselves on their precision and strategy, humans seemed to throw all of that out the window. The students began their investigation, diving into ancient records and stories from past wars. What they found was both surprising and troubling. Humans didn't follow traditional military tactics. They didn't plan the way others did. Instead, humans fought with reckless creativity and unpredictability. When they were faced with impossible odds, humans would act in ways that no one could predict, and that often led to victories that no one saw coming. One of the students, Rook, a large alien with silver scales, was the first to discover a strange story in the archives. It was about a human general named Commander Jax, who had led a small human battalion against the Alari, a fearsome species known for their advanced weapons and disciplined army. The Alari had been confident that their superior technology and strategy would guarantee victory. But they didn't count on one thing: Jax's ability to break the rules. Instead of fighting the Alari head-on, as any other general would have, Jax ordered his soldiers to disrupt the enemy's communications and sabotage their supply lines. The Alari were confused. They couldn't understand why humans would fight this way. But in the end, it was this unexpected move that led to their downfall. The Alari couldn't adapt fast enough, and the humans won, not because they were stronger or better equipped, but because they didn't play by the rules. Rook shared the story with his classmates, and they were all stunned. How could humans be so bold? How could they risk everything by breaking the rules? It didn't make sense to them. The alien students had been taught that victory in war came from careful planning and following established strategies. But humans had shown that sometimes breaking the rules was the best strategy of all. Zira, a young alien from the planet Zepha, was also intrigued. She had always believed that structure and discipline were the keys to success. The idea of throwing those out the window seemed reckless. Yet, as she read more stories, she began to see a pattern. Humans didn't just break the rules for the sake of chaos, they broke the rules to create something new, something that no one else had thought of. In another story, humans had been fighting against the Z-Kayari, a species known for their powerful technology and flawless tactics. The humans had no advanced weapons to match the Z-Kayaris, and their armies were much smaller. But instead of focusing on strength, the humans focused on their ingenuity. They used the terrain to their advantage, creating traps and ambushes that caught the Z-Kayari off guard. The Z-Kayari couldn't understand how humans could do this. They were used to being the ones with the advantage, but the humans turned the tables with simple, unexpected tactics. The victory wasn't because humans had better weapons. It was because they had the courage to be unpredictable. As Zira read, she started to change her opinion. The idea of following the rules had always seemed like the only way to win. But now, she saw that humans had something that made them different. They didn't play by the same rules that the rest of the galaxy followed. Instead, they created their own. The more the students uncovered, the more they realized the truth. Humans were rule breakers, and that was what made them so dangerous. In every battle, when all the other armies followed their strict strategies, humans would do the unexpected. They would attack from places no one thought to look. They would use whatever they could find, broken ships, damaged equipment, or even the environment itself, to turn the tide of the battle. It wasn't just about strength. It was about adaptability and imagination. The professor, there, a wise and ancient alien who had seen many wars, listened carefully to the students' discoveries. When they finished, he nodded slowly. "What you've discovered," he said, "is the reason humanity has been banned from galactic wars. Their ability to break the rules is what makes them so dangerous. The galaxy's leaders know that if humans were allowed to join the wars, their unpredictability could destroy everything." Rook felt a chill run down his spine. He had always believed that strength and order were the most important things in war. But now, he understood that the power to break the rules could change everything. The galaxy's leaders had feared this power. They feared that if humans were allowed to fight, they would bring chaos to the carefully controlled wars. But Zira wasn't so sure. As she thought about it, she began to question whether the galaxy was right to fear humans. Maybe chaos was what was needed. After all, the galaxy had been locked in endless wars, and perhaps the rules and strategies they had all followed were no longer enough. Maybe it was time for something different. The students continued to discuss the implications of their findings, realizing that humans were not just unpredictable, they were a catalyst for change. They didn't follow the rules because they believed the rules could be improved. They believed that sometimes the only way to win was to break free of tradition and make a new path. As they wrapped up their research, the students were left with a new question. Should the galaxy continue to keep humanity out of the wars, or should they embrace the power of the rule breakers? At the Galactic Academy, a group of young alien students gathered in the vast research hall, ready to begin their latest project. Their professor, a wise alien named Thar, had given them a task unlike any other: to uncover why human seemingly primitive creatures from a distant planet had been banned from joining galactic wars. The students, who had heard nothing but fear and suspicion about humanity, were eager to understand what made these creatures so different. Why were they seen as dangerous? As the students dove into their research, they quickly discovered that humans were a mystery. Unlike most species in the galaxy, who followed strict rules of warfare and relied on advanced technology, humans fought with something that could not be measured: their spirit. They didn't always follow the tactics that others used, and they certainly didn't use the same weapons. But what they did have was the ability to spark change in ways no one else could. The students started their investigation by studying old battles, hoping to find clues about humanity's role in galactic conflicts. They learned that humans had fought in wars before, but they never fought like anyone else. Instead of relying on technology or overwhelming force, humans relied on their willingness to make the impossible possible. They inspired those around them, not with advanced weapons, but with their determination and belief that they could make a difference. One story in particular stood out to Zira, a young alien from Zepha. It was about a human named Captain Sarah, who had led a small group of human soldiers against the Z-Kayari, a fearsome species known for their superior weaponry and tactics. The Z-Kayari had underestimated the humans, thinking they would be easy to defeat. But Sarah had something the Z-Kayari didn't: the ability to inspire. They turned the environment itself into a weapon, laying traps and ambushing the Z-Kayari at every turn. The Z-Kayari, expecting a straightforward battle, were caught off guard. Sarah didn't have the best technology or the strongest army, but she had the ability to lead her people to victory through sheer willpower. She inspired her troops to believe in the impossible, and they did the unthinkable. They won. Zira shared the story with her classmates, and they were all stunned. They had been taught that wars were won with better technology, stronger weapons, and more disciplined strategies. But Sarah's victory showed them something different. Sometimes, the power of belief could change the outcome of a battle. The students realized that humans didn't need the best technology to win. They needed the courage to face the odds and the ability to inspire others to do the same. As they dug deeper, the students uncovered more stories of humanity's role in past wars. They read about human soldiers who, against all odds, had turned the tide of battle. In every case, humans had fought with a spirit that no other species could match. They didn't always follow the same rules or tactics as the others, but they made their own path, and that path led to victory. It was clear now, humans were not like other species. They were a catalyst for change. One of the students, Rook, a large alien with multiple eyes, began to see things differently. At first, he had thought that war was about strength, technology, and careful planning. But after learning about humanity, he began to realize that war was also about inspiration. Humans didn't just fight, they led. They brought others together. They made people believe in something greater than themselves. This was their true strength. Rook wasn't the only one who began to change his mind. Zira, who had always believed in the importance of order and strategy, now saw that there was more to war than following the rules. Sometimes, the unpredictability of the human spirit could change everything. In fact, humans had the ability to bring about a new way of thinking. They were not bound by tradition, not limited by old methods. They could adapt, they could create, and they could inspire others to do the same. The professor, Thar, watched as his students made this discovery. He had seen the potential of humanity long ago, and now his students were beginning to understand it. "What you found," he said, "is the reason humanity has been banned from galactic wars. Their ability to spark change is too great. They don't fight like others. They fight to transform the battlefield, to inspire those around them, and to bring about a future they believe in." The students sat in silence, reflecting on what they had learned. They had thought that the galaxy was built on order, power, and control. But now, they saw that change was just as important. The galaxy's leaders feared humanity's ability to challenge the status quo, to create new possibilities, where others saw only limitations. It wasn't just that humans were unpredictable, it was that they had the power to change everything. Zira thought about it long after the lecture was over. She realized that the galaxy's fear of humanity wasn't because humans were dangerous in the way other species feared. It was because humans were a force of change, a force that could never be controlled. The galaxy's leaders had kept them out of the wars not because they were weak, but because they were too powerful in their ability to inspire others and change the course of events. As the students continued their research, they started to see humanity's true strength. It wasn't in their technology or their weapons, it was in their ability to inspire and create change. They were the catalyst of change, a force that could break through the barriers of tradition and reshape the future of the galaxy. The students left the lecture hall with a new understanding of humanity. They had uncovered the reason behind the ban, but now they wondered, should the galaxy be afraid of this power, or should it embrace the possibility of change that humanity brought with them?